Hello, 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 everyone. Trickle on into the room, get settled. We are here for another Astro Hour. Um, Hope everyone is well. Hope everyone is rested. I am not. But that's neither here nor there. We'll get started in just a moment. Um, in just a moment, we will go ahead and get started. For those of you who may be watching for the first time or who are who are new here, I am Mambo Soleil. I am the Coven Mother of Vision Dawn Tour. I am the founder and facilitator of the Charm School Mentorship Program. And I'm a dope bitch straight up out of Oakland. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining. Come on in the room and get settled. We'll start in just a moment, okay? Alrighty, so we are here for Astro Hour. We are here to talk about two placements or two transits that will be taking place next week. First is new moon in Libra, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Neptune entering into Pisces, which happens the day right after the new moon in Libra. For those of you who may, again, this is a relatively new segment that I'm doing here on the channel. I believe this is only the third time I've done it, if I'm recalling correctly. Astro Hour is where I come through and give a little bit of insight about the big transits that are happening in the week to come, just to give us a little bit of understanding of what's ahead of us. Let us know how to prepare for the energy and the shifts that are taking place. And if people are interested, once I give the general information about the transits, I will do personal one-on-one readings afterwards related to each of these transits. So Bertal says, I love Astro Hour. Thank you, thank you. I really hope that it's a segment that picks up. The views have not been the highest. Unfortunately, people respond a lot better to happy hour for whatever reason. People like it when I'm here to talk a bunch of shit about celebrities, which sometimes I'm fine with, but not this week. It's been a heavy week. We lost a legend. We lost two legends. I know everybody don't like Diane Keaton. She's a white lady, but in terms of being an advocate for single women and creating just amazing art, she was a huge loss. And then we lost D'Angelo. Soul music is never going to be the same without him. He was the last of a dying breed in terms of doing distinctly Black R&B music that honored Black women, literally praised Black women in the way that he did. So big losses this week. So no, I don't want to come on here and talk about what celebrity is fighting with who and whose baby daddy may be gay. I don't care about none of that right now. It's just been a heavy, heavy week. So I would rather just focus on talking about this astrology so that we can, we lost Diane Keaton. If you have time this week, watch First Wife Clubs in her honor. Another movie that I really love that she was in that I think people don't give a lot of credit to was Something's Gotta Give. That was a good movie. That was back when Keanu Reeves was still fine. So he done got a little jowly and a little, some's gone off with him as he ages, but that was back when he was still fine. So let's go ahead and get into these transits. Let's start with the new moon in Libra. I loved her in Godfather. You know what? Godfather is one of those movies that I think I watched when I was super young. I have no memory of it. And since her passing earlier this week, people keep referencing The Godfather. So since I told myself I would watch a Diane Keaton movie this weekend in her honor, I may watch Godfather. Because I don't really remember that movie. I know it's a classic. I know people love it, but I don't remember it very strongly. Hello, Sanidra. Hello, Tori. Hey, Adelaida. Hey, Shandia. Hello, everybody. Baby Boom. I've never seen Baby Boom, so I may have to check that one out. Binge all the God. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time, and I'm behind on work. I gotta prep these lectures for next week. We got the Love and Sex Magic workshop next week. And I really gotta finish my outline and putting stuff together for that. So I don't know if I can binge all of them, but I will definitely at least try to watch the one that I know she's in. Okay, happy Libra season. Happy birthday to the Libras. I know we have a couple of Libras that are watching right now, so happy birthday to all of you. Um, let's talk about this new moon in Libra. New moon in Libra comes on October 21st, which, if I'm remembering correctly, that's Wednesday, right? No, it's Tuesday. Tuesday, October 21st, we have the moon, the new moon entering into Libra at 8:25 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Libra is the sign of relationships. It represents harmony, balance, justice. It's also, because it is ruled by Venus, it represents aesthetics. Okay? Of course, Batal is all excited talking about Libra season. And so when the new moon, particularly in the chart for this upcoming new moon, this moon is going to be squaring Jupiter. And so this is going to bring a tension between growth and expansion, and also our relational balance and fairness, right? So Jupiter being the planet of expansion and Libra being the planet of relationships, balance, and fairness, there is going to be tension in those areas. Whenever there's a square, that represents tension, right? So this is going to be a focal point around thinking about things in terms of fairness within our relationships. That's going to be a big focal point during the new moon and the days after the new moon. That's going to be something that's really important to us. It's also going to be an opportunity for new beginnings in relationships. This is a really good time to plant seeds with partnerships, to start new business partnerships, friendships, agreements, making things solid in terms of the people you've met recently. It's also a really important time to reflect on the give and take in your new beginnings and in your new relationships. Are they starting off in balance? Are they starting off in harmony? Or are you finding yourself giving more or taking more than the other person? If so, take the time to reflect on that, because that's going to set the tone for how the remainder of that relationship goes. Okay? Reciprocity is really going to be at the forefront during this particular new moon. Libra's energy pushes us to consider justice, fairness, whether or not things are equal, right? So looking at areas of life where you may be giving too much or taking too much, where somebody may be giving you too much or taking too much from you. Those are all things that are really important to consider under this new moon. Harmonizing opposites as well. The square with Jupiter can pull us towards extremes, right? Again, squares bring tension, and tensions push us to extremes. So it can be easy to fall into overindulgence. Again, remembering that Libra is a Venus sign. The Venus signs can spill into overindulgence very, very easily. Overindulgence, idealism, also exaggeration, right? Being prone to hysteria. Those are all things that you need to be careful about with this Jupiter square, and really lean into the tempered energy of Libra in order to bring you equilibrium, so that you're not doing too much. Discernment is going to be extremely important during this time. Also refining your intentions, remembering that Libra, with it being the balance of the scales, with it being the energy of legality and fairness, that it is very much about refinement. So refining your intentions under this new moon is going to also be something that's really important. Since the moon is in one of the later degrees of Libra, This is going to be a lunation that carries a lot around culmination. So this is a time to really crystallize and solidify your plans for the remainder of the year and for preparation for the top of the year. Okay? So some ways that you can work with the energy of this new moon is by being really deliberate about setting intentions. Write down the areas of life where you want to bring in reciprocity, fairness, respect of boundaries, clarity. Again, all the things that are related to Libra energy, right? Dialogue and reconciliation is also a good thing to really focus on during this new moon. This is a really good time to, it's a good time for honest conversations, right? In your relationships, it's a good time to address imbalances, to renegotiate your agreements, right? Again, with Libra being the sign of partnership. So negotiating agreements, negotiating contracts. This new moon and the 3 or so days following it are going to be a really good time for that. This is also a really good time to visualize, for visualizations, right? We know that visualizations are important to manifestation. We also know that Libra is about aesthetics, right? And because Libra rules aesthetics, beauty, and harmony, this is a really good time to create vision boards, to really do some dreaming about your future, to do some journaling about what it is you want. Use the dreamier aspects of Libra to really manifest the things you want, because there's going to be a really graceful edge to your imagination and your desire that really allows you to dream big under this influence. Also, give yourself permission to be gentle with your expectations. With the Neptune influence that's coming the day after, and I'm going to talk about that shortly, clarity can be somewhat gradual. What I mean is that even though with the Libra influence you crave clarity, that Neptune influence is going to make it hard, right? So be patient with yourself. Don't get frustrated. Allow space for ambiguity, but hold a soft spot for intention, right? And be patient with yourself as you're coming to clarity, okay? So that would be my advice for the new moon in Libra. What about chanting, since Libra is air? Yeah, that's a good way to use your time. Absolutely. Absolutely, that is a good way to use your time. The next day, on October 22nd, we have Neptune entering in Pisces, okay? Now, since March 30th of this year, Neptune has been in Aries. And you guys may have heard me talk about that in an earlier sorry, I think my neighbor's smoke alarm is going off. You guys may have heard me talk about that in one of the earlier segments. So it shifts from Aries into Pisces on the 22nd. And it's going to be retrograde for a little bit, but it's going to remain in Pisces until January of 2026. The retrograde context means that while it's entering Pisces, its movement is going to be much more internal, much more reflective, very, very subtle. It's retracing its steps to a certain degree. Now, when Neptune enters Pisces, there are certain things around homecoming that are going to be at the spotlight, that are going to be at the forefront. And these are some of the core themes that we need to consider when Neptune is in Pisces. Also remember that Pisces is ruled by Neptune, so it's like a really strong energy. It's comfortable there, right? It's exalted there. So the energy is going to be really strong. But one of the themes is depth, mystery, really being connected to the inner realms of your life. Neptune heightens sensitivity when it's in Pisces. So your psychic awareness is going to be really strong. Your intuition is going to be strong. There's going to be a connection to what's unseen, right? You guys may have heard me talk about when certain signs are in Pisces. Somebody can be in front of you speaking and they're saying one thing, but you both hear, feel, and see the hidden intentions, the things behind what they're saying. So don't be surprised if you experience a lot of that. The boundaries between the self and the other are going to feel very, very loose under this influence. So that's a good thing. If you know you are a person that struggles with trusting your own intuition, start having those conversations with yourself now, because your intuition is going to be sharp from now until January 26th. And that is a long time to convince yourself that you're lying about what you see, feel, and hear. And we already know that when we lie to ourselves, when we deny our intuition, we get ourselves into a lot of trouble, right? Another theme that is going to come up with Neptune in Pisces is the theme of surrender and the dissolution of boundaries. There's going to be a lot of space for letting go, for releasing of control, and dissolving illusions or constructs that no longer serve. I know I kick Pisces back in a lot for being delusional, and that has a lot to do with that escapist tendency, with how they deal with their spiritual attunement. But one of the benefits of Pisces, and one of the things that they are good at, is giving up control. Pisces, even though they are naturally powerful and especially psychically powerful, they're probably the least controlling astrological sign. They're not gonna fight to have the right answer or to be in control. And so use that to your benefit while Neptune is in Pisces. If there are areas of your life where you know that fighting for control, fighting to be the leader, or you know that there are areas of your life where you're pushing against the current and it's only bringing you stress and strife, use the influence of Neptune in Pisces to really embolden yourself and empower yourself to trust and let go, to go ahead and surrender. Lean into that hangman energy and let it shift how you understand and see things. For those who have been disconnected, and I know a lot of people, I've spoken to a lot of people who, just due to the overall exhaustion of this year, whether it be the really big astrological transits or just the socio-political climate, a lot of people have fallen out of regimen. They've fallen out of habit with their religious practices and with their faith. So this is a really good time to reconnect to your spiritual regimen, right? Everybody, we still here? Can you still hear me? Hello, hello? Hello, hello? Are y'all still with me? Okay, awesome. My internet did a weird thing for a second, so I'm glad that y'all are still here. I'm trying to remember the last thing I said, so if I repeat myself, I apologize. But for those who have fallen out of habit, particularly with their regimen, this is a really, really good time to get back into the fold, especially because your intuition is going to be strong, and that tie, that psychic connection is very powerful. This is a really good time to get back into your habits with meditation, with dream work, with visualization in particular, okay? Creative inspiration is going to be very, very high. Your imagination is going to be extremely fluid, remembering that Pisces is the sign of the dreamer. They are the artist. They are the visionary, the creative, right? So artists, visionaries, and intuitive people are going to find deeper reserves of inspiration under this influence. Projects that you may have been struggling to make progress with will really pick up under this influence. You may actually finish those things that you've been thinking about or fantasizing about for the last few months, if not years, right? So this is a really ripe time between October 22nd and January 26th to really allow your imagination to support you in getting things done and actually creating things, okay? Now, there is going to be a lot around the testing of illusions. So clarity work is going to be necessary. Wash your head, speak to Ori, make sure you're tapped into your inner spirit. Make sure that you have clear connection to your ancestors, because clarity is going to be of paramount importance while Neptune is in Pisces. With Neptune's tendency towards obscuration, right? Neptune obscures. It confuses, right? It can play tricks a little bit. A lot of trickster spirits are connected to the energy of Neptune for a reason, right? There is a lot of risk of deception, of confusion, not just from other people, but also due to your own natural needs or desire for escapism, right? I've talked about the heaviness of the world right now. I talked about socio-political climate, not to depress you guys, but to be real about the fact that when the world feels heavy, sometimes people are prone to escapism. Be careful about your relationship with substances. This could be a really good time to take some tolerance breaks. Maybe, cut back on the days of the week where you drink alcohol. Cut back on the days of the week where you smoke marijuana. If you smoke cigarettes, this may be a good time to try and decrease, if not quit altogether. I'm almost 3 months into no marijuana, which is a big deal for me. And I'm going to try to challenge myself to continue this, knowing that these influences are there, right? So just be mindful of this. Be mindful of this, because this is a transit that really invites discernment, but it also has the capacity to push against that, or to offer temptations or opportunities for escapism around that. So it's going to be really important to make sure that you have healthy habits that allow you to separate your true insights from fantasy, right? Neptune is a planet of illusion, mystery, and as well as fantasy. So it's really important to be careful. And then another thing is that this is a time that integrates past Piscean cycles. What do I mean by that? Neptune has spent a long time in Pisces, right? It's broad in a broad sense. Like, I know it's been in Aries and it's dipped in and out of other places, but for the most part, it's been predominantly in Pisces since around 2011. So with it coming back during the retrograde, it traces a lot of emotional, karmic, or spiritual threads that began earlier. And again, remember, Neptune is mystery and illusion. So if you start to have nostalgic pulls over things that happened to you in 2011, 2012, 2013, don't beat yourself up about it. Recognize that that's Neptune in Pisces doing that. And if that's happening, right, remember what Six of Cups offers us. Use that nostalgia to heal yourself. Why are those memories coming up? Is there something that wasn't reconciled during that time, 12, 13, 14 years ago, that needs to be reconciled? If it is, reconcile it. And when I say reconcile, it may not be that you need to reconcile with the person. It could be that there is some sort of understanding you never allowed yourself to have, right? We do this really messed up thing where we feel like we have to power through things. And the way we power through things is by ignoring it, acting like it didn't happen, or my least favorite, getting over it, right? And think about, when people say get over it, I think about a kid that's cleaning their room and that shoves shit under the bed, right? You didn't put it away, you didn't throw it out, you didn't clean it, you literally just stuck it in a place where you don't want to deal with it. So again, the things that happened in 2011, 2012, 2013 that you may not have dealt with, Don't be surprised if you start to feel them bubble up out of nowhere between now and January 26th. That's that Neptune and Pisces influence. So rather than continuing to push it into another spot, right, you may take it from under the bed and push it in the closet, right? Really deal with it. Figure out a way to give it away. Don't, whatever you need to do, actually deal with it, because these karmic emotional cycles are coming up to teach you something. Karmic cycles are meant to teach you something, right? And when we don't deal with them, they just repeat, they come back, okay? So some of the things, the challenges that we can be faced with when Neptune is in Pisces are blurred boundaries. The distinction between fact and fantasy can become very, very fluid, right? When Neptune is in Pisces. Remember, Neptune is the planet of mystery and illusion. Pisces is the sign of the dreamer, right? And when you have a dreamer that is prone to escapism, boundaries can become very, very blurry. And so those distinctions between fact and fantasy can become really, really blurred. It's going to be extremely important that you be careful with the assumptions, the projections, or idealizing of relationships or situations. Pisces do this a lot. They put people on pedestals, especially new people or people that may have a strength that they don't have themselves. Be very, very, very careful about that. Whoever comes into your life that is new, and we know that new people are coming in because of that new moon in Libra, right? We just talked about that. So whoever new is coming into your life, be very, very careful about not putting them on a pedestal. Don't over idealize situations. Don't think that people or new opportunities are going to be a savior in any kind of way. Sorry, that sparkling water, I shouldn't have taken that huge sip. But be very, very careful to not idealize or pedestalize things, because that can lead to difficulty once this transit is over, okay? Escapism through avoidance is another challenge that can come up when Neptune is in Pisces. The pull to check out, the desire to just kind of give up, to tune out of reality because of how heavy it is. That's going to be very, very strong. And it can happen in a multitude of ways. It can happen through substances, like I talked about. It can happen through distraction. It can also happen through daydreaming. But be very, very, very careful about being disengaged in order to avoid the things you have to deal with. Yeah, I know, Sanidra, you can put your hand over your face. It's fine. I'm not gonna kick you back in. We already know. Retreat is okay, right? Think about hermit energy. Sometimes we do need to retreat in order to recuperate and see things clearly. But avoiding and hiding is not. Hiding is not. It's one thing to retreat and recuperate. Hiding because you don't want to deal with something is completely different. If you don't know the difference between the two, I'll explain. When we retreat, it's to rest and recuperate. Think of that Four Swords energy so that you have the power and the reserve to take on the next battle. When you hide in order to avoid, you disappear, you show back up, and you act like nothing ever happened. Those are two very different things. And under this Neptune Pisces transit, we really do not want to do the latter. The latter will just lead to big problems that persist in our lives after the transit is over. Okay? I'm not just talking about you. I'm talking about this is a general collective read. I pulled these notes from astro.com and from Astrolabe and from a bunch of other sites. So this isn't just about you. If it's touching you, please take the wisdom now. Emotional sensitivity, empathy, and the absorption of other people's feelings is a big side effect of Neptune and Pisces. So it's going to be really important to protect your energy and practice grounding. For those of you who are on my Patreon, we had a class this week about tarot and spiritual hygiene. Most of the patrons were able to watch it. They were there and attended it live. But for those of you who were not there and able to attend live, watch the replay. I just realized, okay, I'm sitting here telling y'all to watch the replay. And as I'm saying this, I'm realizing I haven't. I will post the replay before the night is over, patrons, okay? So the patrons are going to have that replay. They attended the live class, and then the other patrons are going to have their replay. If you are not a patron, consider joining my Patreon because the classes are fucking amazing, A. But B, spiritual hygiene is going to be an extreme necessity while Neptune is in Pisces. With a heightened emotional sensitivity, it's going to be easy to absorb other people's feelings. And we all have enough going on. So the last thing we need to do is be so spiritually porous that we are absorbing other people's feelings. So spiritual hygiene, being grounded, those are going to be extreme necessities right now. It was a great class. Thank you so much, Aisha. I appreciate that tremendously. I believe my Patreon is in the description. If it's not, I would really love it if one of the patrons can put it in the comment section. That would be really, really helpful. For whatever reason, whenever I put a comment in the comment box, StreamYard doesn't always allow it to go through. So if one of the patrons can put the Patreon link in the comments, I would deeply appreciate that. But another challenge of Neptune and Pisces is that some of your dreams, have disillusionment, basically, right? Because some of your dreams or your spiritual ideas can really be tested. Illusions will fall away and there can be disillusionment, but also a lot of opportunity for clearer vision, right? So some of the dreams that you may have had, some of the ideas you may have had, you will fall out of love with them, for lack of better words, or you'll see that they weren't meant for you. And rather than mourning that and being saddened by it, allow yourself to be grateful for the clarity, because anything that melts away only allows space for something new. Because Neptune is a very slow planet, remember that Neptune is one of the later planets. So very much like Pluto and Uranus, it moves very, very freaking slowly, right? Neptune is very, very slow, and it's also in retrograde, right? And because it's in retrograde, results and shifts are going to be very gradual. They're going to be very subtle. They're very internal, right? A lot of the things I talked about, yes, they're big, but they're not going to happen quickly. They're not going to be like really flash insights. They're going to be things that you come to very, very gradually. And that's another reason why patience is of paramount importance right now, okay? The effects of Neptune are both personal and collective. Collectively, the return to Neptune and Pisces is going to really deepen our cultural focus around spirituality, collective healing, compassion, visionary arts, and symbolic expression. Everyone as a collective, especially in this country, are reevaluating their belief systems, right? Especially when it comes to faith in media, faith in technology. This AI shit with the Sora is disgusting, right? But there's a lot happening in terms of a collective reimagining, which makes sense with Neptune being in Pisces. On a personal level, this is a time where people are really going to reopen their spiritual or dream lives. It's a really great time for the healing of old wounds. Again, I mentioned that you may feel yourself thinking about stuff from 2011, 2012, 2013. Rather than being shamed by that, acknowledge that that wound either is still unhealed or did not heal correctly. Be grateful for the opportunity to do the work of healing it so that you can really move on and move forward. But this is a really great time to cleanse your inner world, and to learn to really trust your intuitive wisdom, and also to embrace the creative breakthroughs. I'm excited to see what the healers are going to do right now, myself included, right? I welcome the opportunity to be challenged in terms of what the medicines I create. And I'm looking forward to see what other healers come up with at this time. I have some students that I work with that I've been damn near begging for a long time to trust themselves in terms of their creation. And my prayer for them is that this Neptune and Pisces transit really motivates them to trust themselves and to tap into their creative energy. I'm really excited. I know artists. I have artist friends. I'm really excited to see what they give to the world in terms of using this energy. So yeah, it may be a heavy time emotionally, but there may be a lot of beauty as well as healing that comes out of this transit. So I'm really, really excited for that. Okay. So those are my insights about the two transits that take place next week, the new moon in Libra on October 21st, as well as the Neptune transit into Pisces that happens on October 22nd. I'm happy to do readings for people about either one. You guys know the drill. This is, I think, our third time here for Astro Hour. So the way it works is that if you want a reading about either transit, you just tell me which transit you want the reading about, and you send your love offering to my Cash App or my PayPal, both of which are scrolling below. My Cash App is Soleil Conjure, SOLE Conjure, and my PayPal is Manze Soleil, MANZESOLE @gmail.com. So feel free if you would like a reading about either one, go ahead and send your offerings, and just put in the comment section which planet, or not which planet, which transit you would like a reading on. The reading for Moon and Libra is Mirror and Scales, and the reading for Neptune and Pisces is Through the Veil. But you guys probably won't remember those names, so you can just say New Moon or Pisces or Neptune, and I'll be able to go from there. But as you guys are preparing or sending your offerings or thinking about which reading you would like, I will take this time to update you guys on a few of the things that I'm working on. Today is the 16th. So in 6 days, Wednesday of next week, we have the Love and Sex Magic Workshop, Fire and Desire. There is still time to go ahead and enroll in that. The cost for participation is $75. This is a Love and Magic workshop, a Love and Sex Magic workshop. In this workshop, yes, you can send for both. Absolutely, Tiffany. In this Love and Sex Magic workshop, we're going to be talking about, I'm going to teach you all not only how to do love magic, not only how to do sex magic, but how to safeguard yourself from doing what I call limerence magic. I have had to learn the hard way through my experiences and through some of the things that I learned, that a lot of people are not taught how to do sex magic correctly. A lot of what is taught as sex magic is actually limerence magic, and that is a huge, or lust magic, you can call it either one, and that is a huge reason why when people do love magic, you hear these stories about it going wrong, right? People becoming obsessive, people becoming violent. It's because they're doing limerence magic. It's not really love or sex magic. So I'm going to teach you the ethics of love and sex magic, the difference between love magic, sex magic, and limerence magic, how to safeguard yourself from limerence magic, and then I will also teach you a potion, a foolproof potion that is good for both love magic and sex magic. This is a workshop that is good for you whether you are a single person who is looking to attract a partner, whether you are in a relationship and you just want to get, your love life jumping, or if you don't want commitment, but you just love sex and you want a great sex life. This is a good workshop for people who have different, or if you just want to learn about how to do love and sex magic properly so you can incorporate it into your repertoire as a tool that you have for other people, right? It's good for priestesses or training priestesses who want to do this kind of work for other people. So that is going to be October 22nd at 8 p.m. EST. If you would like to join us, just go ahead and click the link in the description and sign up. Once you book it, once you pay for it, you will get an email from me that includes the Zoom link along with the supply list for the class. And then once the class is done on the 22nd, the next day you will get the replay link so that you have the replay to watch over and over again as much as you like, okay? What else? Grace and Gratitude starts November 1st. That is our 21-day prayer program. For $15, you get 21 days of prayer support from both me as well as Hunsi Aja. 21 days of prayers crafted by the both of us, as well as journal prompts that are designed to help you reestablish and strengthen your relationship with gratitude. And Aja has been kind enough to offer us weekly sound healing sessions. So you will get multiple sound healing sessions during the time of the workshop. So I strongly encourage you to sign up for that. It will be the best $15 you've ever spent. Trust me, just go ahead and sign up. You will not regret it. In addition to that, the final round of the Rich Spirit Prosperity, ritual will take place October 10th through the 13th. The deadline to sign up for that is November 10th through the 13th, and the deadline to sign up for that is November 8th. We won't be doing another one this calendar year. The year is almost over. So if you know you have things that you want in terms of financial breakthrough for this calendar year or next year, right? You're trying to buy a home, you're trying to get things with your business, I strongly encourage you to sign up for Rich Spirit. We literally people who did the round back in July are still coming forward and talking about blessings that they've gotten from it. We just had a young lady, I forget her name, but I need to post the update in the intake chat. She literally came back into the ritual chat this week and told us that she's gotten 3 different job offers that pay her way more than the job that she was fired from right before she joined the ritual, right? I've had people get funding for businesses, all kinds of things. So Rich Spirit is a great opportunity, okay? So those are the updates I have for right now. And then you guys know all my readings are always available. You can always go to soleilconjureshop.com and book services with me. Let's get into these readings so that we're not here all night, okay? And just put in if you send a love offering, just put in the chat which one you want. I'm going to start with Tiffany because she wants both. Sanidra, I'm excited for Grace and Gratitude in the Sex Magic class. I'm excited. This is my first time teaching a love magic or a sex magic class publicly. So I'm excited for it too. I think the information that I'm going to share will really open people's eyes, and I'm excited for people to make this honey pack. I think it'll be really, really, we're going to have some fun. That's just it. We're going to have some fun. Tori said, Rich Spirit is life-changing. Thank you. It's one of my favorite things that I offer. Can we ask general questions? You can ask a general question. You can ask a general question. If you don't want one of the transit readings, that's fine. The love offering is still a minimum of $11.11. If you're going to ask a question that's general, you still have to send in the minimum love offering. This is not like on Sundays I do the generals for free, and if people want to send $2, I let it happen. But with this one, I have to set a minimum. So, but yes, you're more than welcome to ask a general question. So let me go back to Tiffany so that I don't forget the order. Tiffany wanted both readings. So let's start with your new moon message, Tiffany. Let's start with your new moon message. I'm just going to pull up my spread so I don't forget the questions. And I do try to write out new spreads every time I do this. This is why I give them names so that I don't forget them. Okay. So with the new moon in Libra, the mirror and the scales, card 1 is going to look into the mirror. So this is going to reflect your current energy. 2 is going to be the scale. So this is going to talk about what needs to be brought into balance. Card 3 is going to be the promise. So this is going to be the blessing or the blessing that the new moon provides you, okay? Ancestors, angels, and master spirits walk with me. What does the new moon in Libra have in store for Tiffany? What is the mirror, the scale, and the blessing that is coming her way? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Past rich spirits were amazing. Thank you so much, Sanidra. There's a lot of movement that happens in rich spirit. A lot gets revealed to people about themselves in rich spirit. And I love the way that I have it set up. I don't think I'm ever going to change it in terms of doing the dream interpretation during the ritual, even though it does take a lot out of me. But it ends up being really, really helpful because it does help people identify what their financial blockages are. And every person that I know that has taken that wisdom and has utilized it has been able to see breakthrough. The only time that people don't see breakthrough with rich spirit is if they just kind of go with the motions and they're like, oh, that was fun. And then they don't do anything with information, right? But I think that people like Sanidra, like Tori, who took the wisdom and moved through it. And then my other clients who, you know, have gotten jobs or who have bought homes or who have even gotten pregnant, because we're working with honey and honey is aphrodisiac, right? They're the ones who you know, really took that wisdom about their blockages and used it for transformation. So in the position of the mirror, we have the Six of Swords. So right now, in terms of the reflection or how it is you show up in what's going on in your current relational energy or your patterns, right now you are very focused on yourself. And that's a good thing. You're thinking of, and the reason why you're focused on yourself and why I say it's a good thing is because Six of Swords is a card of moving forward into a future that's uncertain, but it's better than what you're leaving behind, right? So you are very much in an energy of wanting to be different than your past and being open to what your journey has to teach you, right? So it's not that you don't want relationship or that you're not open to connection with other people. You are, but only if they are along the ride or open to the journey with you. So this is actually a really beautiful thing. This is one of the Six of Swords that shows someone alone, but in traditional representations, there's always somebody at the back of the boat with the person, and that's the person that's guiding them and along the journey with them. And that's where you are in your relationships. You're like, I want to move forward. Whoever is down to take this journey with me, dope. If you're not, fine. But I have things that I need to go after. I have something that I need to move towards, which is a really good place to be. Six of Swords is a really good energy. And it's also an energy of surrender. And the new moon in Libra does talk about surrender. So that's good. With the scales, with what needs to be brought into balance, right? We have the Six of Wands. Six of Wands is a card of hitting your milestones. It's a card of success. It's a card of having respect from your peer group. It's also a card that lets you know that you may be further along than what you feel like. And I think this is an interesting card for you in terms of what needs to be brought into balance. It's time for you to be less hard on yourself and to be more in a space of celebration. You have more, you're getting more answers right than you are wrong. And most of the people around you see that, even if you can't see that for yourself. So the Six of Wands is coming up to say that what needs to be brought into balance in terms of where you need to restore fairness is in terms of understanding how far you've come, understanding how well you're doing, and trusting your peer group, trusting your audience, trusting the people that are clapping for you and saying you're doing well. They're not just saying that to sound nice. They, believe me, they probably have other shit to do, right? So what needs to be brought into balance is that you really need to see how far you've come and how well you're doing, okay? Now with the promise, the lesson or the blessing that the new moon has to offer you, we have the Two of Wands. They really want you to dream bigger. They want you to dream bigger. When the Two of Wands comes up, we're not dreaming big enough. They want you to really, and again, this makes sense, right? Neptune is entering Pisces. They want you to dream bigger. They want you to really allow yourself to fantasize. And they want you to really, again, that message of making a vision board. If you haven't made one in a while, it's probably a good time for you to do so. But really allowing yourself to dream and let your imagination go crazy, and trust that in letting your imagination go crazy, that in and of itself is spiritual work. The dreaming gives your spirits wisdom about what it is you want to have and what to give you. But you don't dream big enough. It's like you're so overwhelmed with, like, I don't want to say menial, but like small problems that you don't ask yourself, like, what would it be like to have big problems? Like, what would it feel like to be, in the south of France and irritated because I want to fly home first class, but only thing that's available is business class, right? Let your imagination run wild. Ask for bigger. Dream bigger. Because that's the only way that you're even going to get to the bigger. So that's your new moon in Libra reading. Let's get into your Neptune and Pisces reading. Hey, La Balin. It's good to see you. When you have the time, watch the replay so that you can get the breakdown of the new moon in Libra, as well as the Neptune in Pisces transit. Neptune is going to be in Pisces from October 22nd through January 26th, and there is a lot going on with that. So, and I'm doing readings on both of those for everyone right now, or for the people who send in love offerings. So with your Through the Veil reading, we're going to look at the mirage. So this is going to tell what illusions or fantasies you're trying to break through, or that you need to break through. We're going to look at the deep water. So this is going to be the spiritual truth that is lying beneath the fantasy or the illusion. And then the anchor, which talks about how you can stay grounded under this transit. Okay, Tiffany? Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits who walk with me. My elevated ancestors. That star card really wanted to fall out. What wisdom does Tiffany need about the Neptune and Pisces transit? What does she need to work through at this time? What does she need to be aware of? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. She doesn't give herself the credit that she deserves. I'm grateful somebody else is saying it. And this is what's so dope about having a coven, and a coven that actually fucks with each other and works with each other, is that sometimes it's stuff that I don't even have to come forward and say to y'all as a coven mother, because y'all are already saying this shit to each other. I'm so grateful for that, because I don't know what it is. Being a coven mother and being a godmother has taught me a lot about what it means to be a parent in general. And now I understand why my mom used to get so mad, because when you're the parent or the leader of a thing, you can say something to somebody over and over again and they think you're just saying it to them because you're the mama. But it lands differently when it's coming from one of their peers. So I hope that it's landing differently that your sister is saying it to you, Tiffany, because it is true. You really do not give yourself the credit you deserve. You absolutely don't give yourself the credit you deserve. Alrighty. So in the position of the mirage, oof, Y'all saw that. Okay, before I say this, y'all saw that I shuffled the cards. Y'all saw that I wasn't doing anything funny, right? The Mirage, Nine of Swords. You think you're doing worse than what you are. Nine of Swords, nightmare energy. You are very, very, very hard on yourself. You spend a lot of time in worry. You lose sleep, waiting for something bad to happen, expecting something bad to happen. You have to let that go. Things really are not as bad as you imagine them to be, and all it's doing in the process is stealing your peace. This is the mirage. This is the illusion. This is the lie that you need to let go of, okay? The World card is in the position of the deep water, which is the spiritual truth or the gift that's waiting beneath the illusion. Once you can let go of that illusion that you're somehow failing or that something bad is going to happen to you or that something from the past is going to sneak up and get you, there's celebration on the other side. There is an opportunity to really complete this chapter. You are in a space in your life where you should be having way more joy and gratitude and appreciation and ability to really embrace and be grateful for the wisdom that you've accumulated through your experiences. But again, because you're so wrapped up in the mirage, you can't really be in that energy of celebration that you deserve to be in, okay? Now, in the position of what's going to help you and keep you grounded, the position of the anchor, we have the magician. This is about you learning to trust yourself as a literal magician and understanding that you have all the tools at your disposal to have the life that you want, to create the circumstances you want. You also have the wisdom, right? People don't take account the wisdom of the magician, that they are well studied. This is about you learning to trust yourself. This is about you standing in your own personal power and believing in you. So that's what's really going to anchor you through this Neptune in Pisces transit. When you have those moments where you start to get overwhelmed by the illusion, by the fear, by the worry, you have to remind yourself, hey, I have too many tools. I have too much knowledge. I have too much wisdom for these things to even happen to me. So what can I do to prepare myself? What can I do to protect myself? What can I do to shield myself? Because I have way too much partying and joy and happiness and love and celebration that I should be focused on at this time right now anyway, right? So that is your reading. I hope that that resonated with you. Let me know if that was helpful. Okay. Let me see who's next. I believe Tamika is next. Tamika, did you want, which of the readings did you want, babe? I don't think you put it on your, let me see. You want a Neptune reading. Okay. So Bertal is next and they want a Neptune reading. I believe Sanidra, were you after her? I'm going to look on the thing in just a second. Hello, Jaleesa. Oh my God, that is a name I've not seen in a minute. How are you, stranger? I hope you're good, Jaleesa. That made my day. I hope you're doing well. Oh, Jaleesa's here. That's so good. Okay. Your sisters, angels, ascended masters, spirits that walk with me, my elevated ancestors. Knight of Pentacles fell out, but I put it back in, so we'll see what comes up. What wisdom does Bertal need about Neptune and Pisces? What is the mirage? What is the anchor? What is the blessing on the other side of the illusion for her? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. If anyone else would like a Neptune and Pisces reading, or a new moon and Libra reading, or just a general reading, feel free to send your love offering of 1111 to my Cash App or my PayPal. And then you can just put in the comments which of the readings it is you want, okay? And then once I'm done with Sanidra, After I'm done with Ratal, I will take more people in the order in which it came. The mirage, the illusion, and the fantasy that you need to see through. 3 of Swords, perpetual heartbreak. 3 of Swords, that you deserve bad things. That's the illusion you need to release. A lot of times when we are stuck in a heartbreak that we cannot move beyond, it's because we believe we deserve it. Instead of learning the wisdom, taking the wisdom and moving forward, we just accept it as our state of being or where we deserve to be. So the 3 of Swords is coming up to say that that is the illusion you need to release. You need to release this belief that you somehow are deserving of bad things, that the things that happen to you are your fault, that you are to blame, that this is just what you attract. It's not true. It's bullshit. And the sooner you can release that false belief, the easier it will be for you to pull yourself out of situations that cause you perpetual heartbreak. In the position of the deep water, which talks about the truth that lies beneath this, 9 of Pentacles, independent wealth, luxury, abundance, ability to stand on your own, bad bitchery, joy, abundance, right? There's so much wealth on the other side of it. A lot of happens with the perpetual heartbreak is that you allow people to steal your joy as well as your resources to a certain degree. And so once you can get past that perpetual heartbreak, you'll be able to stand not only in independence, but in joy and confidence. There's a confidence that comes with the 9 of Pentacles, right? You have to be deeply confident to be able to move on your own and trust that you can get by on your own. Now, in the position of the anchor, which is what's going to help you stay grounded, 4 of Pentacles. This is a time for saving, and not just literally financially saving, but preserving and reserving your energy. This is not a time for you to have to give to everybody. It's okay to say no. You don't need to be everybody's friend. Remember that the Pentacles are about health, right? So it can be about the areas where you overgive your life force. 4 of Pentacles, this is a time of reserve. And that reserve allows you observation. If you're not overgiving, if you're not pouring out to everybody, who stays around and who goes away? Whoever stays around is worthy of being around you. But whoever goes away, they were on some fake shit anyway. So that reserve energy, that conservation energy, actually becomes a source of protection for you if you can tap into it the correct way, okay? Let me know if that resonated with you, babe. I hope that that was helpful. Okay, let's see. So I believe I'm still getting used to the new account, so just give me a second. I'm trying to make sure that I see everybody here. So Sanidra is next, and then Adelaida wants both readings. Sanidra, then Adelaida, and if there's anyone else that wants a reading that I've not gotten to yet, just go ahead and submit your love offering and then put in the comments which of the readings you want. Sanidra, baby, which one did you want? Did you want the moon reading, or did you want Neptune as well? Everybody's into this Neptune lesson. Okay, y'all going into the dark waters. I love that. I love the bravery. That makes me happy. I got you, Sanidra. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits that walk with me, elevated ancestors. What wisdom does the Neptune in Pisces transit have for Sanidra? What is the mirage? What is the anchor? What are the deep waters that she needs to face? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Tori, are you still here? If you're here, Tori, I know you asked about a general reading. If you're still here, let me know. And then after I'm done with Adelaida, I can give you your general reading. In case no one told you today, you are sickening. You are such a great role model for anyone who is destined to be. La Balin, you better. I was about to call you a bitch, and I meant it in the sweetest way. I was about to say, bitch, you better not make me cry. You better not make me cry. I love my work, but it is really hard. It is really hard. This work ain't for no hoe. And I'm always thrown off by people who like fetishize it because it is hard. It has a lot of, it has good moments, but it has a lot of valleys. And this week has been a week of valleys. So I don't think, see, look at God. I have random paper towels sitting here for no reason. See, they knew you was gonna do this shit to me. It's been a week of valleys, and I didn't even know I needed to hear that. My God kids know what's going on, and I'm not going to talk about it on here. But it's just been a tough week as a godparent to witness some of the stuff I've had to witness. So thank you for saying that. Whew. Sinidra. So when it comes to the illusion or the fantasy that you need to see through, we have the Page of Pentacles. It's funny because I feel like this came up for you before in a separate reading. You see yourself as an apprentice. You see yourself as somebody who is less skilled than you are. Particularly when it comes to life, right? There's like a childlike energy to you. I experience it as a curiosity, but I think other people experience it as a naivete. And that's the illusion you need to break beyond. There's a maturity that you need to tap into and be comfortable with and really embrace so that you don't continue to show up like somebody who is such a novice about life, right? You are way more skilled and intelligent than you allow yourself to believe you are. And so the Page of Pentacles, being the card of the apprentice, is coming up to say, like, yeah, you may not know everything, but you have more wisdom than you acknowledge, right? And that's an illusion that you really need to break past. In terms of the deep water and what is on the other side of the illusion, we have the Six of Pentacles. I don't know if you want to start your own business or if there's like a nonprofit that you want to do. But the Six of Pentacles is not just charity, it's money that comes from institutions. And I think there are ideas that you have. There are things that you are capable of doing. And once you break past this maturity deficit in terms of how you present, people will be able to trust you and they'll want to pour money into you. They'll literally want to fund your dreams, right? And so that's what lays on the other side of breaking through the illusion. Like, you are somebody who's supposed to run something. And once you can start moving like a person who should be running something, people will pour the resources into you to fund this thing that you need to be running. In terms of what's going to keep you grounded and anchored, we have the Five of Swords. And Five of Swords is a really, really interesting card, right? It is a card of war strategy, absolutely. But it's also a card of learning how to choose your battles. You can sometimes get distracted by the wrong fights, right? And it's funny because I just talked about this card in Tarot Tuesday this week. when the Five of Swords comes up, it's asking you either to get over a past battle that you may have lost so that you can take on the next fight, or to ask yourself if the fights you are engaging in are even worth, if the juice is worth the squeeze. And so what I get from this overall reading is that in addition to you believing that you're less skilled than what you are, you do get distracted sometimes by the wrong types of fights. And if you can break through those two things, it will position you to be seen as, for lack of better words, a leader in your community. And if there are people, in terms of the kind of gifts you have, that are literally ready to pour resources into you so that you can, because they will benefit, the world, the community benefits from your gifts. But if you keep moving like somebody who doesn't have those gifts, or who is still learning how to access those gifts while being distracted by the wrong fights and the wrong focus, it's going to be hard for you to ever get to that point. Does that make sense? So that's your Pisces that's your Neptune and Pisces lesson. That's what Spirit really wants to work with you on during this transit. Oh, okay, yeah, I haven't. So I only went on Facebook today to post this link. So I'm gonna go and look for that comment. I love that artwork too. I actually really want to find that deck because that's probably one of the most brilliant representations of Five of Swords I've ever seen. But yeah, I hope that reading resonated with you. I hope that made sense. So Adelaida wanted both readings. So I'm going to get into Adelaida. If there's anyone else that wants a reading, go ahead and send your love offerings, and then just put in the comments which of the readings it is you want. Adelaida, since I've already done a few Neptunes, I'm going to start with your Neptune, and then we'll finish up with your full moon, okay, Adelaida? Put a scale in the comments just so that I know you're still here, babe. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits of all elevated ancestors, what wisdom does Adelaida need at this time that the Neptune in Pisces transit will provide her? What is the mirage? What are the deep waters? What is the anchor? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. The card reminded me that there are fights that you don't want to back down from, but you are not the only one. Effects like the children hiding, but listen, yes, the collateral damage of unnecessary fights. It is a beautiful, beautiful representation. I really, really want to find that deck. All right, good, Adelaide. I'm glad you're here. Glad you're here. In terms of the mirage, you worry a lot about money. And I can understand. I mean, we live in a capitalist society. We need money to survive and we need money to live. But the thing about the Five of Pentacles is that it reminds us that poverty is a consciousness. And the more we focus on deficit, the more we focus on what we don't have, the more we invite lack into our world. It's also meant to remind us that financial deficits or financial difficulties are temporary, right? And so if we obsess over them, if we focus on them, we just prolong them. We make them ever more present, right? And so in terms of the mirage and the thing that your spirits really would love for you to look past. They would love for you to break out of this understanding that financial difficulty is permanent, because it's not. It's really not. If you can figure out a way to rise above your current or temporary circumstances, it'll really open up a lot for you. What's on the other side of that in terms of the deep waters or the breakthrough you receive when you can get past the mirage? We have the Emperor. It'll make you much more focused, right? So the hyperfixation on money or feeling like you don't have enough money has brought you out of focus. It's become a distraction, and it's taken you out of your discipline. There are certain things that you should be building for yourself in terms of empire, in terms of a future, that you have deprioritized. And if you can break through the mirage and through the illusion, it'll put you back in an energy of discipline and focus that will actually help you in terms of not only fighting your current circumstances, but seeing breakthrough in terms of your bigger plans, right? The anchor that's going to get you through this is trust in community, as well as appreciation for your home. You actually have a really beautiful life. You actually have a lot of stability around you. Four of Wands is a card of stability, and it's about homecoming and the celebration of your stability. You've also hit milestones that you don't acknowledge, right? That's another part of the energy of the Four of Wands. So rather than being wrapped up in this energy of it's not going to get any better, I don't see anything other than that, the more that you can be anchored in a spirit of celebration, in the spirit of gratitude, in the spirit of recognizing how much you have in terms of community, in terms of your home, in terms of stability, it will help you get to this energy of emperor, discipline, creation that will actually break you out of what you are feeling is difficult right now. So that is your Neptune in Pisces reading. Let's see what the new moon in Libra has in store for you. If there is anyone else, is Tori still here or did she dip out? Tori, you here? If you're still here, Tori, put some scales in the comments. And if there's anyone else that wants a reading, go ahead and send in your love offering, and then put a comment down letting me know which reading you want. So we're going to do your new moon in Libra. We have the mirror, the scales, and the promise, okay? Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits that walk with me, my elevated ancestors. What does the new moon in Libra have in store for Adelaida? What is the wisdom and the blessing that this moon has for her? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. All right, so with the mirror, which talks about what this new moon is revealing about how you show up in relationships, we have the Six of Cups. You are a very loving person, and you bring out the inner child in people who are blessed to have you in their life. Not only do you make them feel seen, you put them in attunement with blessings and with dreams, with parts of themselves that they may have lost touch with. People really feel seen and loved by you, okay? And that is a huge blessing that not only you have for you, but that people feel, that's why people fuck with you. They feel loved on, not just in terms of who they are, but like the little kid in them feels loved on and seen, right? And this is a huge part of how your give and take in your relationships. This is a really beautiful thing for you. Keep doing that because that works in your favor. In the position of the scales, what needs to be brought into balance? This is talking about what you really need to nurture in your relationships. You could stand to be, and I'm going to say self-full instead of selfish, because a lot of people don't like the language of selfish. But you can be a little bit more self-full, right? Because the Queen of Cups, yes, she's the ultimate nurturer. Yes, she's the loving friend. She's the therapist. She's all those things. But she's only able to be that when her cup is full, right? And so it's beautiful that you give this to people. It's beautiful that you make people feel seen and loved. But you also got to make sure that your cup is ever full and that you're giving from your overflow as opposed to your drops. Yes, be a nurturer. Yes, be loving, but make sure you're loving yourself first and you're giving yourself the best and all of what you need before you start pouring into other people. The new moon in Libra, in terms of bringing balance into your life, really want you to focus on that. Are you treating yourself just as good, if not a little bit better than you treat other people? It's okay to treat you a little bit better than you treat other people, because that's what gives you the strength to be a nurturer, right? In terms of the promise or the lesson or the blessing of this new moon, in terms of what it's going to give you to move forward, we have the Two of Wands. So you are another person that's going to benefit from some creative insights. This new moon in Libra, and it makes sense. Again, it's Libra is Venus, it's aesthetics, right? It's going to give you wisdom and vision about what you want for your future. And that's really going to open up and bring breakthrough in terms of your creativity. So I love that for you. Really, really love your new moon in Libra reading. Really excited for that for you. All right. I don't believe anyone else wants a reading. I don't see anyone I don't see any new comments. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for the night. I want to thank everybody that joined. This has been a good Astro hour. I'm starting to love this segment. And I want to thank Bertal, because I low-key did not want to do a live stream just because everything that's been going on with me this week and feeling that capacity. And I was on the fence between doing this or a happy hour reading. And when I spoke to her earlier today, she was like, no, do Astro hour. Make sure you do Astro hour. And so, Bertal, I really want to thank you, because ever since I started doing these, you've been really, really encouraging about it. And yeah, every time I do it, it feels amazing. It feels absolutely amazing. I'm grateful that you guys have been responding to it the way that you have. I want to thank everybody that tuned in tonight. I want you all to really love on yourselves, be gentle with yourselves, have a beautiful and blessed weekend. I will be back here Sunday, 7:30 p.m., like I always am. So I will see you all Thursday. If you did not get a reading today, but you wanted a reading, just come back on Sunday and let me know. Just say, Mambo, I want a new moon reading, or Mambo, I want a Neptune reading. If you don't want to just get a general reading on Sunday, and I'll do it then, okay? I love you all. Please be gentle with yourselves. Be kind. Do good and be good. Be good to other people. I'm gonna start reminding y'all, be good to other people. I don't know what the fuck is going on in this world right now where people are getting off on being nasty to one another, but please, 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 please be good to one another, okay? And I will see you all Sunday night. Take care. I can't believe La Balin made me cry.